are more aligned with the British system, the Cambridge-Oxford system, where the professors are few and far between, but they are the leaders then of a discipline. And the lecturers then are the academics. So we are front of class. It's more than teaching. It's the British system, so we have to do research, just as academics and professors have to do research. We just don't get the salary or the leadership responsibilities that go with that. So, in terms of arrangements for preparation, etc., there are the teaching and learning systems, and it's informal after that. What we normally do with our partner institutions is we use mechanisms like Erasmus or any of the extended Erasmus programs to do staff exchanges.
For mobility,
Mobility.
And student or just staff?
Both. Both.
Maybe I should say something as well, because typically a member staff would teach 4 5-credit modules per year.
So what is the workload? Yes, that's a very good. You mentioned almost a 9 to 5 kind of a thing.
Yeah, well.
In the university system, we don't have that. We have in Ireland, and similarly in the UK, but in Ireland we have the university, and then we have the Institute of Technology. That would have been the equivalent of the Polytech and the university. So the Institutes of Technology, they do a 9 to 5 higher education system, much more structured, much more training oriented. In the university system, it's 16 hours of contact a week. The hours can be anytime, anywhere, depending on the schedule, with the expectation that the student then has to take ownership of the learning and undertake them. So to staff, what that means in practice then is that lecturers on average cover about 20 credits of teaching in an academic year. So that's, you could work that out as 4 hours of lecturing a week, but you are responsible for everything. So you have to design the modules, teach, deliver, assess. All modules have lab assistants, so you have to coordinate those, you have to organize those. So it's far more than 4 hours a week, because it's a managerial type of thing. Plus, you then have to meet with students face to face, individually, then on issues, etc. So it's very time consuming. Plus, you have all of your research commitments. So you are expected to have a full research load in our system as well. So you've got to manage both of those requirements. And then, just to finish up, that then feeds into research-led teaching. So we try to avoid textbook teaching. That's what the IoTs do. So in the university, it's research focused. So you're getting, especially at master's level. You know, and Mark will tell you, from his programs, etc. We place a lot of emphasis on what is current, what is really hot.
And exactly, that was my next, let's say, question. How is the demand from industry is reflected in, let's say, the content of an average master program in computer science? Because now I'm just trying to cover the
Sure,
broad,
exactly.
because there are 4 universities, different programs. So how, let's say, how do you capture the latest demand from industry? What is the mechanism? Workshops, contracts, whatever?
It's a combination. So when we're designing programs, we have what's called a PAP, that's Program Approval Process.
Do we have a sample of that?
We can send you, yeah. It's a well-established, structured process. Yeah, we can send you that.
That's what we're looking for.
There are many external people on that committee. So the external people would include industry people, students. So student representatives on the design of a program. Because they have a voice and we want to hear what they have to say. Is it reasonable? Is it unreasonable? What pressures are they under, etc. And schools then, within the university, can have advisory boards. Now, we don't yet, but we are talking about bringing in an advisory board. We have an external assessor. So under our university quality review process, we do have industry quality assessors, just as we have external examiners to oversee the quality of our programs. I should have explained, all of our degree programs have an external examiner. Again, that's the British system. And we're just in the middle of that. My guys are gone. They finished last Friday. Mark, are you done? You're done as well? That's an audit. That's where the external examiner comes over and goes through every mark, every student, every module. It's time consuming, it's accounting.
How many students do you have in each module?
Okay, so
I have the numbers.
you have numbers?
Yeah, I'll read that. So for the MSc Computing Science, we have about 30.
So you have 30 in one
30.
class?
30.
Yes, 30
30.
persons in one class?
In one
receiving-
class, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
40 for MSc Data Analytics, 30 Interactive Media approximately,
Yeah.
and 25 for the higher
And you do
diploma.
peer-to-peer assessment for each one of
No,
them?
no. So we have this understanding that 30 at postgraduate level is about as far as you can realistically go. If the class gets bigger than 30, now remember it's intense. It's very almost one-to-one. You know, you're going around the classroom in your laboratories and so on. So 30 students is about as much as is manageable in a postgraduate setting. You can have bigger classes at undergraduate level. Some subjects, disciplines go for bigger classes, but you don't have that level of interaction then at that point. So from our experience,
For example, for the project supervision,
Would
you
you be
need
looking
staff.
at more than 30 in Guatemala? Would you be looking at more than 30?
No.
I don't
Well,
think so.
I,
You'd be lucky
I think
first
so.
year to have 5 or 10.
guys, it's not scalable.
I would like to be then.
Like our first year back in 1998, we had 60 because it was the first taught masters in Ireland, and it was full on. I mean, it was, we were pulling 60, 65 hours a week.
But you have like someone that helps to.
Now we do, yeah.
Now
So because our program was so new back then, we didn't have any of those supports. Whereas now we have a structured support system. We have teaching, lab assistants we call them, or demonstrators. We have a very, in our school, we have a very well designed support system. So we have technical support, system administrators. We have very good executive administrative support for registration and stuff like that. So everything a student needs is actually here in our school. So
And in the building as well.
and in this building. So we're actually quite fortunate that way. That it's a one-stop shop. I would not advocate going above 30. You will find that your administrators will push you for more than 30 because more students, more money and whatever. From an educational point of view, you cannot build relationships with the student. It's very hard to ascertain how they're performing. And we rely on our demonstrators to be a go-between with the students as well. So the demonstrators are usually a postgraduate student or someone who has done the course. So they're younger, they're closer in age to the student, they're more inclined to speak and talk to them. So you'll get feedback that way, and that's very valuable. Just coming back to the external inputs, I would strongly advise that you have a panel of external people giving you input.
So basically you said this PAP, right, it
PAP.
stands for?
Program approval process.
Yeah, so basically this is some kind of a structure and a document
Yeah.
available.
So
Is it possible to share this with?
I think so. I think the university
So
will be
it's like
quite
a
happy.
partnership with industry.
It's only a small part of it.
Okay.
So the PAP itself is the totality of the design of a new program. So in that, it's the business case. It is the academic analysis of the program. You have module structures, you have the program structures, you have the outline of the modules, etc. I mean, it's detailed stuff. It's quite a
Maybe you should
big
So
also,
it's a number of documents, right?
yes.
so maybe you should also mention IT Cork.
Oh, yeah, I mean, in Cork we have, so there's industry and there's academia.
Yeah.
And we have a very strong emphasis in this country on developing sectors. So Cork is internationally known for IT, for computing, and also for pharmaceuticals and other related industries. So we partner directly with industry, and we founded an organisation called IT at Cork to formally bring the two together. And that has proved fantastic, because not alone does it help us, because our students have jobs to go to, but the government has used that to bring industry into the sector. You have to have that relationship. So if you have a strong reputation for excellence in a particular area of computing, maybe your department school specializes in security or a particular form of engineering, you develop that and you reach out to your industry, build those partnerships, they will co-locate, and then you start to develop those outlets then for your students. That in turn leads to research collaboration once it's mature. Once they're confident they can work with you and your students. Right now, and I have a couple of industry research collaborations underway at the moment, as well as other academic stuff. And that's benefit then to the academic as well.
Great.
I'm just thinking, have we forgotten anything, Mark?
It's
I'm
we're
sure.
already behind. We have
Yeah.
Technológica.
Oh, sorry,
We're
Technológica.
already, yeah. So waiting. So, if anything, I would like to say, like, if any other questions will appear, so overnight, whatever, just send them to me, and I will have a
Email
chance,
us or-
to meet, and then probably maybe next week I will be back. So maybe I will come and meet with you. So we will talk about this app, and any other questions will appear. So I will just pop them up. So I don't want to hustle and disturb our colleagues much, but thanks a million
Well,
to
you're
all you.
welcome, and welcome to
gentlemen.
Ireland.
Yeah, that was a pleasure.
Will I take these now?